time for Bomber Banter. Now over to Fiona.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome back to Bomber Banter and welcome to the Twix Awards for our round 23 game against St Kilda. We got oh so close, but we probably did in the end what we needed to do, as did a couple of other teams, I think, in order to keep our spot nice and comfortable on the ladder to preserve draft picks, but don't yell at me for that. That's just where we are, okay? How is everybody? It was actually one of my favourite fan cams, I have to say. There've been a few faves, but that was probably one of my favourite fan cams that I've done all year. If you haven't checked it out, I definitely recommend it. Shout out to Webby from the UK who called in as a first-time caller. If you're watching this, Webby, or if you catch this, I love abroad callers, and I just love that you hadn't seen the game that day because you had been working, but you called in to chat to us and the community anyway. And shout out to Charlie for taking us to Hungry Jack's in the drive-through and then home to his family. It was just lots of newbies, and it really made my heart joyful. So, and that's not taking away from all the absolutely amazingness that was the chat and the rest of you as well. So thank you for being the incredible community that you are. And thank you, Moby, so much for starting us off in a wonderful way. Langy, hello. Pete, how are you? Andrew, Brett, Shaky's not with us, but he is there. And Dioracle, thank you so much for being here. I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to bring in my co-host, the one and only legend, Pom.
Hey, how are we all doing? Hey, Hungry Jacks.
Yes, we were.
They're all going on.
I mean, they were in the drive-through when I clicked them on, and then they just took us through. It was Charlie and his dad, and they took us through their order, and then we drove home with them, and then they introduced us to their mum, and it was very, very enjoyable and wholesome. How are you, Pom? How does it feel getting a win, supporting a team that won on the weekend? How is it feeling?
It feels very good. I mean, there was a moment where I became an honorary Bombers man for 10 minutes. I did cheer you on in the final turn. So good day to everyone in chat. Peter, Dorical, Langy, see all the beautiful faces there.
Yes.
So no, it was a good game. I did go back and watch this.
It was enjoyable, Tom. I think for the first time, I don't feel bad making you relive an Essendon game because it was fun. I watched it twice. I actually enjoyed it, and I had a great night at the footy too.
Well, yeah. I mean, you made me watch 3 horrible games. I
had to watch 17 of them.
So thank you very much for handballing me the 3 worst ones. I love that. But no, this was a good game. I did have sleepless nights though for you. Xavier Dersmer's kick inside 50 at the end.
I'm talking about sleepless nights. Do you reckon he had nightmares that night?
All he had to do was hit a target, didn't he?
And he had a good one there in Redders.
Ball call, that never was.
Poor Gold. And he had a bloody blinder. He turned Marshall inside out. He had double the amount of hit-outs he's averaging for the season, old Gold. He wound the clock back.
I tell you, you found a bit of form. You play quite a famous team this weekend as well, don't you?
Don't know. It's quite an irrelevant team, I think, to most of us, is it not? Nah, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Are you guys, what? Do you feel like you've won the premiership or what? I'm seeing lots of up and aboutness on the Blues. I don't know. There's a lot of...
Look, call me a coward. Call me a coward. Call me what you want.
Never.
Accepting mediocrity is the new buzzword for Carlton fans. But I said it on the live. Sometimes we take football far too seriously. So I have just tried to... My last 2 games of the season, I'm hoping to fall in love with the game again. So, you know what? I had a lot of fun. Most fun I've had clothed on, I'll say. I had a lot of fun for 4 quarters, and hopefully we continue the vibe this weekend. Looking forward to doing battle and being an enemy for 4 quarters, but next
going to
week
feel a
when
bit
I come on
different.
the show,
It's going to
regardless
be
of what
feel a bit different having these feelings about you, Pom. They've been so positive. Everything I feel about you is so good and positive, and for this week it might switch. But just on the whole, accepting the mediocrity, we have been accused of it as Essendon fans for, and embracing a losing culture is another one that Essendon fans like to embrace. But I say you can only win against who's in front of you on any given weekend, and you have reminded me a few times this year that football is supposed to be fun. It's actually supposed to be fun at the end of the day. So when you win, absolutely just take it and enjoy it.
Yeah. I always say that. I always find people who say accepting mediocrity. I'm a black and white man, so I don't do grey. Right? It's either right or wrong. So, like when I hear accepting mediocrity, I always look at my two kids. So my two kids, they learned to walk at different stages in their lives. There was about a 6-month gap between the youngest and the eldest at the same age. But I remember them trying to walk. And when they failed, I didn't go, "Oh, you're a piece of shit. You're a failure." Right? You know what? Even though they kept failing, I would be a little bit concerned when it got a month later than the oldest that they didn't walk. But every time I would celebrate them little successes, knowing that one day he was going to do it. So I don't think they're mutually exclusive. Enjoying it and accepting the result. Like you can accept perfection, but also enjoy the journey. Because if you don't enjoy the process, you're never fully going to enjoy the success. So I think you can do both. I don't think celebrate. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, not one of Carlton's goals this weekend did I go, but we're 14th.
Yeah, exactly.
I genuinely enjoyed it.
I mean, in a world where there's so much shit, embrace the joy when it's in front of you. And what brings me joy is you, Mariella. Thank you so much. It's a credit to you that we all love Bomber Banter. And it's a credit to you, people like you, Mariella, who keep me here and don't make me run for the hills and cancel this down, because the community is just absolutely incredible. So, hey, Robert, how you going? Imagine how many times you'll watch it if you knock the baggers off on Robert. There'll be no sleeping. I'll be doing the fan cams all night long. There will be no going to bed. And that may be an overreaction. But
hey, look, the hardest job next week is me, right? Because I am going to have to prove to you that should we win, I'm going to come in here humble and look at it from your side. And if we lose, I'm going to have to be positive. Hey, look, I've got the hard job, right? I've got the hard job.
I don't know about that. Just remember that will have been our 12th loss in a row, and that we are very wounded, but we're still on our feet as Bomber fans, and we've been hurt a lot before. So all I will say is just keep that vibe next week if you do have a very big, good win, which I do know that you're anticipating.
You said it. I didn't.
Yes, you did. I watched your rating show. You think you can't blow that one over me. You can't say you don't say shit that you do, because I watch your content.
Look,
you absolutely think Blues are going to win.
For me to gaslight you, Fiona.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, as always, best of luck.
All right. Well, let's just stay in the moment, shall we? And let's get to the. Oh, before I do this, I will confirm to everybody that yes, Pommy and I put our minds to the test and divided the games. And when I say divided the games, I made Pommy go back and do the 3 games we lost by 90+ points in order to give the Twix votes in this new form, so we can officially award a Twix King in a couple of weeks' time at our Twix Low, where we will be dressed up to the hills, matching and everything. And I did the rest, went back and did the rest of the game. So there will absolutely be a King Twix in a couple of weeks. So let's start with the mids and the rucks. First off, I did allude to it, but Goldstein, in my opinion, had one of his best for the year, and he really could have been the possibly the goal assister to win the game. Had he been given the holding the ball, he should have.
We'd like to thank the Bombers for 2 things this week. One, you managed to get Nasir 2 million. And and 2, watching Goldie, I was like, Jesus, we're never keeping TDK.
Well, here we go. Don's right on it. This week he's there.
The way Goldstein was taking the piss out of Marshall. You know what? This was phenomenal. And I think what's beautiful about watching Todd Goldstein is it really just shows two things. One, the modern day ruckman is grossly overrated. Grossly overrated. Like, you read all this thing, you've got to be agile, you've got to play down the back, play forward, run 15Ks. There is a place for you being good at what you do. And what I love about Goldstein, I think he'll be a terrific ruck coach, is he understands his body, he understands where to be and understands how to use it. And he invariably makes younger, more athletic ruckmen play his game, which is incredibly important. If you're a young ruckman out there, do that. Make them play to your strengths. Don't play to their strengths. So I thought this was a great game, real old school ruck game. And it was good to watch, considering there was no iconic captain. I thought he really helped the Bombers.
Yes.
Dare I say?
I think and in a midfield that had, has bereft of a bit of leadership. Yes, Andy McGrath's the vice captain and he was in there. I reckon he stood up really strongly and there was a part in the replay where they panned to him on the bench. I think it was the fourth quarter. And oh man, with his red rosy cheeks, he was beaming from ear to ear. And I just thought he's like a kid in a candy store. He's just loving his life and loving the moment, and he's in the moment playing with all the freedom that, to the absolute highest of his ceilings right now. And I honestly, as I said, he had something like 45 hit-outs to Marshall's 20. And he averages about 25 this year. So I thought Goldie had at least two or three.
Let's do three, eh? Like, us old guys have got to stick together, Goldie, if you're watching.
Says, that's true. You're almost, at the same age, maybe?
How old is Goldstein now?
Goldstein is 37.
Fucking hell, as if I'm nearly 3 years older than Goldstein. Jesus.
I think you're going all right. Pom.
God, fucking get me my blanket.
I know, right? Jeremy, you can't run for the hills until you're on your way to Italy. The hills of Florence. Thank you, Jeremy, for your contribution. That is going into the piggy bank, as all the others have. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Ben, I reckon he did some hard yards this game. I could see him working to the best of his ability, but I'm not quite sure that the ceiling is as quite high as we'd have hoped for Ben.
It's a bit the same as last week with Ben. I feel like we've seen his ceiling, and I mean this with all due respect to St Kilda, but I think they're a very one-pace, flat-footed midfield. I felt he looked like a yard slower than them. I always look at Saints' midfield and think they're gettable. And I felt this was a game that he could show, but I didn't really notice him, to be honest.
Yeah, agreed. I think, look, I will give him, I think he laid an incredible couple of tackles, but that's about it. And in this modern game, you need to be offering a bit more than that, especially, I'm not quite sure how many games he's clocked up. Maybe chat, someone wants to do a quick check, but I think you need to be offering a bit more than that for me, Pom. So it's a 0. But someone who's not a 0 is this next guy, Isaac Kako, who once again ran through the middle. And what he does, he has an incredible ability to draw a crowd when he's around the ball. And he's so dynamic that just by the sheer presence of his being and his energy and his energy, like he's like an Energizer bunny, he repels opponents. And he halves contests that he has no right to halve. He plays bigger and smaller. Very, very rarely, unless a ball's coming on top of his head, gets outmarked. I thought yet again he had a great game. I'm not sure that it was reflected in the stat sheet, but this is the Twix Awards and we go on vibe and we go on overall game. So I thought and a 1 or up for me. How'd you see Kak's game?
Well, I mean, we know that one of the facets you look for is stamina, Fiona. We know you're a big stamina girl.
I am. Stamina and synergy.
Synergy, very important as well. But the one thing I'll say about Big Isaac is there was another gentleman at the other end of the other end of the ground in the name of Nasir, who is incredibly known for his directness. And bearing in mind that Isaac is a baby, you could see some traits. You could see some traits there that it took Nasir a while to get going. I was a big fan of him in his draft. Isaac keeps this going. Direct running at the ball is so hard to stop. I think there's something there. So I'm going to give him. I actually think we should do a 2 Twix for Isaac.
Yeah, more than happy.
By the definition of this game, he did make. I thoroughly enjoyed his entire game. Like he just.
Yeah.
Football's about. I call arse off seat footballers. And he makes me stand up. I feel like he's going to do something every time. Yeah.
He has that perceived. That's why I said, I know, Moby, you're here and you called me on it in a forecast, but I'm telling you, he may supersede the Waller perceived energy and vibe. I reckon he will. And keep in mind, Pom, he's in his first year and he's played every game. So he is not, and he doesn't look hampered. He doesn't look like he's slowing down. I never see him trailing an opponent. I'm so in on this kid. Sometimes we can over pump up some of the kids, but there is no over pumping up on Kako. So well done to the development and the academy program.
You have got another player who reminds me a great deal of him as well, which is very exciting for you guys. But
coming in or on the list?
Coming through, Mr. Adam Swede.
Oh, yes.
He's got very similar traits. Nippy, attacks the ball hard. So there's a bit of pace coming through. Him and Hussein are two very quick, dynamic footballers.
Love it. Now, this next guy arguably probably is going to max out the Twix. He probably, for mine, had the best game of his career. Maybe that's recency bias, but for me, he had one of the best games I've seen him play. And I think kudos to, who was it? Dwayne's commentary. He said, McGrath's just done a complete 360 and he's shook off his own shadow. And it felt like when he does that in the back line, he does a 360 and then runs into an opponent. But when he's in the midfield, he makes such better decisions and he feels like he's got an extra second or two to dispose of the football in a really thoughtful manner instead of just bombing it. I thought he also, he was really, his energy and intent was from the get-go to the, sign-off of the game in the last dying minute where he had those two incredible tackles on the wing. A complete game from Andy and probably a fiver from me. What did you think from an opposition point of view?
I agree with you more. I mean, we've talked about this the last 2 weeks. Play a midfielder in the midfielder. Look what happens. I think his last 4 weeks have been pretty strong as well from him. He's built in the midfield. Definitely, I think this is something 2026 they've got to look at. Permanent midfield. And
so what do you read of this? Because to me, he looks like a player the last 2 weeks. He looks like a player in his natural habitat. And all of a sudden he's like a frog who's been in the ocean and he's been kind of drowning, but he's still in water. So he's like, well, I kind of should be loving life because I'm still in water and I've still got some other animals here as friends, but something doesn't quite feel right. And then you've taken the frog and put him in, a pond, and all of a sudden he's like, holy shit, this is what life was meant to be. I'm meant to be swimming in a pond, not an ocean. And this is what it felt like with Andy. I don't know where that analogy came from.
I just say that analogy worked from you. Phenomenal.
I'm talking to the king of analogies, so I had to.
And it was PG, which I struggle to do. So fantastic. I couldn't agree more.
So my question was, sorry, Pom, what is this down to? Has he been playing in the wrong position or has he just evolved? Whereas, because 3 years ago or whenever he moved to the back line, Essendon fans were like, get him out of the midfield, put him in the back pocket. He's a good ball user. He'll give us run from half back. We couldn't wait to get him out of the midfield. So what has changed from your point of view?
I say this about Carlton all the time. Sometimes keep it simple, stupid. He's a midfielder playing in the midfield. I don't think Andy has the traits for an adaptation. I don't think he's particularly quick. I don't think he's an incredible ball user. All the things I'd look for in a halfback. Midfielder, sees ball, gets ball, boots ball very far. You can hide that and you can mask it. So I think he's got a line to defend for him, a line to start putting pressure on before him. It's a lot more safe. I think he's just in, exactly like you said. He's the frog that thought he was a stingray, but it turns out he was a frog.
My God, I am so running with this frog analogy. I'm going to take it as far as it'll go. Can we give him a 5? I think so.
Fiona, for you, let's give him 5.
All right. Now, we've already touched on him, but poor old Dave Dersma wouldn't have gotten any sleep on Friday night, which is disappointing because I thought he had an okay game up until that point. But does that take away any possible chockies?
In isolation, I feel like it's a minimum 1 vote.
Yeah. As in
it
to
is
take away.
Because it's heartbreaking. I always think it's harsh that we're very quick to judge a player on 5 seconds of play when the game is 4 quarters long. Up until that point, if that never happened, we could be talking about a 3-vote game. I thought he kept his spread incredibly. So I really enjoyed his game. So I do think we've got to give him an acknowledgement. He worked his arse off against a dangerous, wide St Kilda. They've got a lot of talent on the width.
Yes, and he worked, as he always does. We all know that Zave works incredibly hard. So, yeah, I probably would have said a 2. But if you lose at least a 1 for that last moment, then should we give him a 1 or are we being too harsh, Pom? I'll let you have the last vote on that.
Chat, help me out. Am I mean? Should it be 2?
Chat.
I feel like maybe I'm too high a standard. Maybe I'm expecting perfection. I did really enjoy his game. I just think that kick.
It was look. I said to my friend Matt on the night when it happened, it was the complete genius leadership idea, but it was just poor execution. He saw Redmond. He knew Redmond's. He knew in that moment I needed a mark because the siren might go. He saw Redmond, who's got a long leg on him, so 2 ticks, and he saw that that's probably going to be 15 metres. In the moment, he kind of did the sums that he'd probably get away with 15 metres, tick, and then it just, I don't know, was it a bad kick? I didn't really dissect his kick. Did it come off the ball or was it purely just it landed short?
I don't think it had enough wheat bix. I mean, look, I'll go with Windy Hill. I respect him. I'm being harsh. I like the way he's picked up that the H is silent. Yeah, let's go 2. Go on.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. All right. Now the next guy, tough as nails. Sam Durham. How'd you see his game?
You know what? Jack Steele gets a lot of hype that he's a big, hard man. So does Windy. But I thought Durham made them look like the mean girls the way he played. Like I
told you I had to step up a level with analogies.
Yeah, well, he was really hard on them. I didn't think. I always watch Windy and Steele and think there's a little bit of physicality there, but I didn't think the physicality was. I thought Durham was more physical. He was more of a dominant presence. Okay. I didn't think Steele got any of his handballs away because Durham was just there wearing him like. Durham's the guy that gets you out of the shit you're in. That mentality, his team first, body on the line. Big fan of Durham. I like the does. He's all right.
He uses his body at when it all comes crashing down. If at the very last resort, just uses his body as the battering ram. So, what do we think? A 2 or a 3?
Oh, let's go 2. I agree with Langy. You can't look. We can't lose Twixes for 5 seconds. You don't get anything for 5 seconds.
It's not really in the spirit of the Twix. So, yeah, I agree. I'm happy with that. Now, this next guy I have banged on about. I said from the beginning, you don't jump off this guy. Yes, Moby, you're feeling me. That goal alone, that rundown tackle, chef's kiss, absolute chef's kiss to the extreme. He does things, yes, he may be a step behind the zone. He might be a step behind knowing when to go with his man or hold width. Yes, he might be a step behind not giving off that ball to Perkins and then getting a spray in return. But look at what he brings on the opposite of that. He brings energy. He brings some twinkle toe. He brings a point of difference. He's that elusive player that people, again, the perceived pressure that's not really there, but there. His tackling technique is very good. I don't often see those skinny arms missing a tackle. And, of course, he has that magic in him where he can absolutely come through with a big tackle and a big special goal like that. I just loved Luwal's game. What do you think, Pom?
I couldn't agree more. And again, another player that I think that a lot of people get a little bit harsh on these types of players, because I think the way Luwal goes about his work, particularly on the wing, is he stands out. So I think you get judged more. But he was up against Wilson, and people talk about Wilson as one of the better, the modern day prototype winger that we see. Hard way to running, does pressure acts, gets on the scoreboard, gets forward. Very similar stats to Wilson, who, if you speak to a St Kilda fan, they call him Baby Golden. And I'm like, Jesus, you've spelt guppy wrong, boys.
Big shoes.
But I thought he was really good. The goal was amazing, but I love his second and third efforts. He's one of them players that I think people are harshly judged, because I think there's a high ceiling there. He just needs a little bit more time to learn the nuances. But that goal was a thing of beauty. But he never gave up running as well, where I think at times some players give up. This guy is a pressure chase down merchant. Even if you get the wrong side of him, he's still tracking you. And sometimes you nailed it. Perceived pressure is just as important as real pressure. You could tell Wilson, even Nass, when he went on the wing, he knew Luwal was coming. He just didn't know where from, but he knew he'd be there. And I liked his game.
And you know what we loved, and I'll credit this to Zach Merritt FC Isaac, who pointed it out there earlier today, that moment where he kicked the ball into the 50, and it was not a great kick to advantage, and St Kilda turned it over, grabbed it, and kicked back out. And as he came up so fast, like a librarian, dare I say it, Dennis, if I may borrow that, on the St Kilda player, and spoiled the ball and gave Essendon, the Essendon Smalls, a chance to then get it. So he cleans up. I love the attitude where if I make the stuff up, he's got the Coldwell attitude. If I make the stuff up, I am doing everything I can to make amends, because or else I ain't sleeping tonight. That's the attitude that I love in my players, and that is what the Twix Awards are made up about, those kind of moments. So I'm happy for a 2. I could also be happy for a 3, or what do you think?
Let's go 2.
Okay. All right. Now, your man, Angus Clark, how was his game?
You know what? Both of these guys, there's a quote from one of my idols, right, that I always think about with when I look at players, and he famously said about Roy Keane, pounding every blade of grass, competing as if he'd rather die with exhaustion than lose, about Roy Keane on his game versus Juventus. And I always think, if you ever have to encapsulate a player that you want to play for your club, you'd love to be described like that, someone that will chase. And Angus Clark, I think he's capable of the exceptional, and I think a lot of these players don't get the respect that they deserve. That you've got to have good foundations to build anything in life, whether that's a house, sport, your love life, kids. You've got to make sure the base is good. Otherwise, it will eventually crumble if you build on it. His hard work goes unnoticed. And I think Don makes a great point. 15.4 kilometres.
Look at those numbers.
Yeah, covered every blade of grass.
That's a great quote, Pom.
He loves it. So Luwal and Clark definitely, I think, should get 2 votes bare minimum, because you can see they love black and red. Like, it means something to them, and you can't teach them.
Yeah. I absolutely thought this was Angus Clark's, probably in the last month, this was his best game. I thought he was much more, I don't know, not that he hasn't used the ball great in his past month, but I thought Friday night he was definitely, because we know he's going to tick the rest of the boxes in terms of the gut running and covering every blade of grass and all that, but that next level was just cleaning up a bit of that disposal, and I thought he absolutely did that. So All right, Pom, over to you while I try and freaking work out how to do this a bit more quickly. All right. I think I've worked it out, so bear with me.
What I like about Angus Clark is when you say that he won't take a backward step, I always like a kind of footballer that I feel like in a fight situation, he's one of them people that you'd have to kill. And what I mean by that is Angus Clark looks like you wouldn't knock him on the ground and him stay down. He's the kind of guy that's going to get up and get up and get up. Even if you break his leg, he will find a way to lay that punch on you. I like the fact that he never says dies. This is a great question from Blue Bagger as well. Hope you're still in the chat. We'll get round to you, Blue Bagger, because I love Blue Bagger, a good friend of my channel. Which players, come on, chat, help me out here. Which players would you want from Carlton in your team? You're allowed one. We're allowed to take one from you. Carlton, 100%, Archie Roberts all day long. Love Archie Roberts. If that could ever happen, I would be happy. But which Carlton player, bias aside, would you like if you could have anyone at the football club? Let me know. Or George Hewitt, Pete, a man of class and culture. That. Ooh, bit of Cooper Lord from Moby. I like that.
Cooper Lord. Did not see his name. Did you see Cooper Lord's name being read out after round 4 this year, Pom?
I was a big fan of him in the draft. If you can't be asked, just buy Sandringham Dabbins players. If you buy Dragons players, you'll always get a gem. Cripps. Oh, okay. Can you imagine that? Cripps in red. If you want to wind Carlton fans up, just put Cripps' head on an Essendon player. That'll get them going. Don Caldwell, Angus Clark is farmed. So he definitely looks like, the stepson of a very harsh farmer in a 1950s American documentary. He's got a bit of Lenny from Mice and Men. He's got a bit of Mice and Men of him, gruff type attitude. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't say he's Lenny. Who was the other one? The name goes out of my head. It's George, isn't it? George, his brother. The intelligent one, but he's quite tough. Looks after his own, but he's hard and tough. Fair. I reckon he's George Milton. Ollie Hollands, Don, a man of class and luxury. My Oliver, very old friend of the Pommy and Oz channel, Oliver Hollands. I'm glad he's getting a bit of love. Good boy.
Yeah. My pick would be a Charlie Curnow. I just think your Charlies don't grow on trees. But now I say that, I reckon Caddy's got a bit of Charlie Curnow in him, and I reckon he could evolve into that. So maybe we don't need old Charlie. Maybe we'll take Sam Walsh. Chat, what do we need? Not who we want. I think Don's thought who we need. So Ollie Hollands is probably a good share. Thought Langy's interesting, yeah. But you know why we're not saying Wiedering Langy? Because we all still have such high hopes in that Zach Reed, the Messiah, will actually play a season injury-free. So at this point in time, that's probably why.
You know what I really like about the answers, though, and it shows you've got a cultured, intelligent audience, is you haven't gone from the out-and-out star. You've gone for guys that are grafters. So Cripps, Hewitt. I'm not saying Cripps isn't a star, because I do think he is, but these guys that put in a shift, Ollie Hollands, they work their fingers into the ground for the football club. So I like that. I really like that. Good call, chat. Shows you're
This is an interesting question from old Pete. Any updates on this, Pom? Do we know what's happening with old Jack?
Try and bring the vibes, and you guys try and bring me down.
Oh no, that's not a poke. Is there any news?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I do find it interesting. Graham Wright did say something that turned me on when he talked about them the other day, and he said that the decision was in their hands, and when he was pressed for it, it was like the decision's in their hands, and when they said
Carlton's hands or Silvani's hands?
No, the players, TDK and Silvani's, but he threw them under the bus, and he goes, "Well, they have their contracts for a few months now." So I did really like that he's saying, "Well, what's stopping them? You either sign or you go." I'm old school. I'm the worst to ask about loyalty because I'm a Pom. So I am the firm believer that if you want to go, fuck off. Like you're
Okay, well, maybe this is the reason. Maybe Langey's just got the reason in front of him.
It's fine, but that's where I am. If you don't want to be there, fuck off. Like,
I mean, I'm with Dave. I am adamant that there is no way Silvani leaves Carlton. I have been so adamant, and I hope he doesn't make me look stupid and leave.
I like him to stay, but my heart of hearts think this late in the piece.
Yeah, but look at Naz. This is so late in the piece, and Naz just signed with St Kilda today.
It is. I just think they know who's staying now. Like you know, Voss is there. What's stopping you? It should be fairly easy decision.
That's true. That's true. All right, let's get on to the defenders, starting with the absolutely incredible Archie Roberts. And as you can see, his total so far is at a whopping 34.5. But I have to say, I think this was probably his, when I say worst, I don't mean he had a bad game, but from the standards he set, I thought he was under his standards for mine.
I understand what you're saying. I don't think he was as dominant, but like I know we're not a stats-based show, but fuck it, we're bringing him. But 688 meters, going at 67%, which is considered elite for that many meters gained. 7 score involvements, staggering 30 points scored off the back half from you guys, which is rare for you guys. That's an area that we always bully Essendon for in our previews and reviews, an area that got to do. Modern day player. I thought he gave them an issue, and it's a very strong rising star this year. It has to be said, but I think Archie Roberts. It's hard to believe he's a baby, isn't it? Like I watch Archie Roberts play, and I feel like you've been harsh on him, Fiona. I think you're judging him as if he's a 100 gamer. Like this is a bloke that's played 24 games, like and. He carries himself like Jack Sinclair. Like I watched Sinclair, who is a veteran, and I was like, the way Archie goes about his work, it makes you think he's the veteran, the way he plays.
Okay, well, Don agrees with you, and I'm clearly wrong here. On the replay, I don't know, is it just me or is his ball use
I like it.
Is his ball use a little bit off?
Look, in an ideal world, you'd want him to go at 100%. We all do.
No,
let's be honest. We all do. But pushing 70%, that many meters gained, that means you're kicking it a long way. You're transitioning with purpose. Okay. I mean, he's going to make mistakes, but every kick he takes is ballsy. It's not.
It's not vanilla.
I say this about Carlton. Carlton's halfbacks, when they kick the ball, it's like watching your dad piss. He's an old man. His prostate's on the way out. There's not enough pressure, and it's kind of meh. And we want a young, virile piss. We want like it hitting the backboard with venom. And Archie does that. Archie's like watching a virile 19-year-old wee, and that's what we want.
I can't say that was one of my most favourite of your analogies, but I see where you're going. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing vanilla about this kid. He's the Napoleon of ice cream. He's just, I mean, yeah, okay, I'm being fine, Don. I feel bullied enough. I feel bullied by both of you. So, all right, well, no, in a great way, in a wonderful way. I could never feel bullied by this incredible community, and not you. I mean, in a good way. Langy got a good question. Does he get the job on Frankie, who is in some scintillating form, I say, at the moment?
I hope not, because Archie turns me on, and so does Frankie. And I don't want to see two beautiful men do battle and negate each other's game. But it would be a great matchup, wouldn't it? Frankie chasing Archie. It would be the Pom Cup, which maybe we can give them a reward next week if they match up. Whoever does the best will.
Good idea. So is 4 okay with you people?
Yeah.
Well, you want to give him 5?
No, we'll give him 4. I want to give him 5, but we'll give him 4.
No, I'll give him 5 because I'm okay. If I'm outvoted, I'm outvoted. I am so okay with that. I am self-aware enough to say I am outvoted and I am okay still. All righty. Mason Redman, who, again, just like his counterpart in fellow leader Andy McGrath, probably had his best game for the year. Safe to say he ticked many boxes. I'm not looking at his stats because even though he led the disposals, those were a bit padded because he did a lot of the kick-ins. But I'm looking outside of those and I'm looking at the leadership he showed. I'm looking at the intent, the lowering of the eyes, the willingness to push the ball forward and to move the ball forward and bring teammates in on it. I just loved it. It was a very selfless game from Red Dog, and I don't often put that compliment next to him. So curious how you saw it.
You know what? Fuck it. We need leadership. I'm going to talk as an Essendon fan. We need leadership down the back, right? Because Fiona will confirm. I text her saying, "Our babies this weekend." Didn't I?
You did. You did, and I loved it. And I text you back saying, "The babies."
You know what I mean? So I use the vernacular. You've converted me. But yeah, he showed great leadership. I thought he marshalled the backline well as well. There was a few times that when I was watching it with my morning cup of tea, I noticed as well he's constantly signaling where to be. He's screaming at his troops, and that turns me on as well. Like, they're young kids. You need that leadership. He's got to be vocal. And to be honest, before I started this little thing with you guys and girls, I didn't actually think Mason Redman had a leadership bone in his body. But watching him pleasantly this year for this show, there's a real leader there, isn't there? There's a man there, big hunking man. So I love watching him, and you can see the relationship he has with Archie, two South Australian boys.
Yes,
you can see they've got a little bit of synergy. So,
but Pom, you wouldn't have been faulted for not thinking he had a leadership bone in his body because he has not shown it for a very long time. So Essendon fans were starting to think that he'd actually lost it, and I was worried about it. But do you know what I loved? I watched him a little bit off the ball in the third and fourth quarter, and we were kind of close to ground level. And I don't know if you noticed it, but Higgins was starting to get a bit yappy in Nguyen's ear because he had 2 or 3 goals on him at that point. And he was starting to do the one-shouldered in the back. And I noticed a few times that Redmond just walked over and didn't even say anything. He just made his presence known to Higgins that he was there. And I thought to myself, wowee, what a show of leadership that you did. Just by your presence, you're showing Jaden that you're there for him and you got his back, but also just showing Higgins that you're not going to get away with your yap and any carry on this young kid. So for me, it was a 5 game from Redmond.
Let's 5 him. I mean, genuinely, I did enjoy as well Hugo Garcia when he kicked the goal. It panned to him and you could see him scream, "Fuck."
Oh, Redmond, yeah.
Which I enjoy. It means he cares. And he looked genuinely heartbroken he didn't kick that goal as well, which you could see it meant so much to him. So good signs. Good signs considering.
This is the only thing from Redders. Don nails it here. This is the only thing, but that's not taken away from the game he had. So
I think, my opinion, for what it's worth, I think he's been better since everyone's injured, which I think is a credit to him. Sometimes you don't know you're a leader until you're forced to lead. And now he's growing into it. So I hope for your sake, Bombers fans, this is Mason Redmond for the rest of his life.
Okay, so Jaden Laverty was leading the marks up until this early in the third quarter, and he wasn't even on the ground. Would you believe it? He had something like 6 intercepts in a quarter of football in the first quarter. He turned the ball over, which I only noticed in the replay, which I didn't love, but I think we take the good with the bad with Jaden, and I think for a quarter of football, he's probably had a pretty good game. So I think a half a Twix is warranted for him.
I think we've got to give him half a Twix because this was one of them games, isn't it? What could have been.
Yes. Oh, my God. If he plays, do we win, Pom?
I mean, losing, I don't know how many defenders you've lost now. It feels like you've lost a whole
42.
team.
Yeah. About 42 of them, yeah.
like I've never known injuries to be in one department, but it just seems I'd be shitting myself if I was a defender at Tullamarine.
Oh, fuck, yeah. Yeah, I thought he was, what could have been, you're right. Now, Jaden goes off and this guy comes on. old Sardi. And yeah, I agree, Moby. I thought he came on and he did a few nice things, and his composure, and he looked calm. And 2 weeks ago when he came in, 3 weeks ago, I noted that he looked like a VFL player. He probably looked worse than a VFL player. He was so reactive and so not prepared for AFL football. And but I thought he was much better. I don't know that I'd give him a 2. How did you see, Pom?
Oh, it's a tough one with old Sardi. You know what I love about him is this was the first game that it reminds me of doing the mid-season draft and looking at these players in the state level football, and then hearing about him, watching him for the Bull Ants, and a guy that was attacked the ball, attacked the holes in the ground. And since I've seen him for you guys, it feels like he's playing within himself. So I agree with you. Sometimes I always remember Matt Cottrell versus Sydney. He flirted with being that type of player in the VFL, came to the AFL, looked like a deer in headlights. Then we brought him on as sub, had an early injury. Guy took the piss. Sometimes I think a player needs that. And hopefully for Saab, this is it, because he did look like he was playing to his strengths. Attack players, wrong foot them, stand them up, use your skills. And I really do think he showed his skill set this week. So let's hope this is the metaphorical damn wall in his brain that I do belong here. I can do this against these guys.
Yeah, agreed. Does he get a half, or are we saying that we need to see more?
You know what? I'm going to keep him hungry.
Yep, me too.
Twixless, but I'll give you a Twix if you do it next week.
Yes, agreed. All right, the young'un, Nguyen, got... I mean, there is arguably people saying that, Higgins didn't necessarily earn his goals, but I think it was probably a really wonderful, not re-earthing for Nguyen, but just a bit of reality. He's had a very good 2 weeks. He's got the plaudits, and rightly so, but I think it was another great education, another link in his education, Nguyen. And I thought he held himself very well, but... yeah, how did you see it?
This guy is going to become a problem, isn't he? This guy.
He really is.
He's got some arse about him. Real annoying customer, isn't he?
Yes.
Really, for a kid, like, bearing in mind he is a child. He plays like a 300 gamer. The cock's shown us the confidence, the times Higgins tried to wrong foot him and he didn't buy it.
Yeah.
And you know what? He plays on the edge, and you need players that play on the edge. I think this guy's going to be in an era where we have so many dangerous smalls.
Yeah.
You might have unearthed the Antichrist of football here.
We might have the Antichrist small forward / midfielder and the Antichrist small shutting down. See, I think I'm already more confident in this kid on the dangerous small forwards than Andy McGrath. And I like what Andy McGrath does shutting down small forwards. But this guy's just got some, as you say, some arse about him. I really like it.
Yeah, you know what? I gave someone today at Carlton a pep up, Matt Carroll. There's a quality passage play, Matt Carroll, where last week Zach Butters was on one leg as the ball went out of bounds. I think he was trying to tie his shoelace, and for no reason, Matt Carroll pushed him over. And I was like, I love that arseholeness. That's the kind of shit that turns me on. Just a complete dickhead on the field. And I think Jaden's got a little bit of, you know what, when you're not looking, I'll dig you in the ribs. And that uncomfortability is very much needed. I really like him. I don't know where we put him on votes. Can I give him 2 votes for being a dickhead? He looks like he'd be the perfect son, because he looks like you could have private jokes at mum's expense with you.
Yeah, well, Joshua thinks that his mum still makes his bed. I'm not sure what he means by that, but I'm probably not willing to give him a 2. I think a 1. I think a 1 is sufficient for him.
You know, I'll meet you in the middle. Go on.
I just want to keep him a bit grounded, Pom. That's all. I just want him to still fight, And so, who will he play on next week, Pom?
I mean, if you were going to put someone on, you'd probably be our most dangerous small forward, which is Franny Evans. I'd love to see that. Francis Evans, the kind of man that asks you if you've got a lighter and follows it up with, have you got a cigarette? Because he does the cheat code, get people saying yes. That'd be a great battle. Probably him.
Okay.
Maybe Ashton Moyer as well.
Okay. Yeah, my first thought was Moyer, but yeah, we'll see. He might spend some time on both. Now, this guy polarizes people. I thought he had a great game personally, but I haven't seen much love for him online. So interested to see what you think. I think he had a 2 Twix game, but what do you think?
Couldn't agree more. You know what? Jackson Pryor reminds me very much of the consummate second, third defender.
Yep.
Like, but at the minute, he's got to be the main guy, hasn't he? And
it's probably playing.
I think that exposes him. But I loved what he did.
Yeah, me too.
They're an awkward team. Sometimes he's a bit like Laverdi. He does 8 good things, and then the one stupid thing that makes you want to punch a wall kind of negates the 8 things.
Yeah, I agree.
Probably how mine and my pop had a relationship. Some of the dumb shit I did when I was a kid. I'll probably feel it now looking at it. But yeah, 2 votes. Let's give him 2 votes. You know what?
Yeah.
Timu Jack Payne. I don't mind that from you, Josh. I'm glad we're starting to use these analogies, Timu and Audi. Well done.
I love the Timu. We've got, who did, I think it was you, Don. Who did you say Lockie Blackiston is the Timu Blixavs, wasn't it? Or something like that. But speaking of Lockie Blackiston, I don't know about his game. I'm neither here or there on this game. I didn't know that. I didn't see that he had a huge impact, but that could be a little bit harsh.
I don't know about you, Fiona. You've been very harsh on some of these kids.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's all right. I like it. We want standards, Fiona. This will get us out of this pickle.
Exactly.
This will get us out of this pickle.
Yes.
This will. Bit of standards. You know what? I like him. I'm a big waffle man. I like me waffle.
You do.
I always thought, and I said it in my mid-season, I always thought Blackiston, even though he had this uncanny knack at playing behind the ball and rucking, I thought his future would be like the modern-day ruckman going forward of the ball. But
interesting.
Since he's gone down back, I think the Blitzarbs, Timu Blitzarbs, I don't mind it. This guy works his tush off.
He does. Yeah.
Playing in the waffle versus playing in the AFL against key forwards is... it's chalk and cheese. It's chalk and cheese. So I thought he was game. Where does that stand on votes? You know what? I'll give him, in my opinion, because I liked his attack on the ball. I think this could be a 2 voter.
2? Oh, all right. Chat, can you? I want to give him a 1. Pommy's going to give him a 2. Can you please give us your thoughts? I think Pete's on the 1. Who else is giving him a 2? We don't have a Jason in the team. I think you mean Don, as usual. Don, and this feels. Why do I feel like you guys are ganging up on me? Did you make a pact before this started?
The conspiracy theories.
Just playing. I know you both love me. Maybe.
Look, I have succumbed to you all night. We'll give you 1 vote. Look, I'll 1 vote.
All right. No. We'll give it a 2 because Langy entered the tie as the 3rd person. There we go. All righty. Take it over, Pom, while I get up our last category, which is
midfield and defenders done in this game. You know what? I do think when you look at Essendon, would I be right in thinking I look at what you guys have achieved this year with it basically makes day 1 of the Battle of the Somme look like Disney, the amount of injuries you've had. There's been a lot. I actually think you've unearthed by accident a lot of depth. So I think without these injuries, you would have probably been thinking, shit, we need at least 2 key defenders. But I think Blackiston, the way he's played, you're probably looking at, okay, we've got the depth, worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, we've got depth. I think the development of Newen says you're good. So do you actually look at it that maybe this will pay you back? like pay you back, that you've actually got a good look at these guys, particularly like the development of Redmond, McGrath as the leadership. So I actually think it's
Hey, Pom,
maybe
can you tell Josh what this is about, please?
an orgy. Sorry. We're going to do a Twix law. So what we're going to do is it's going to be like this, but like the Brown law, but remove some pompous private school idiot telling you about oil use in the northern suburbs. We're going to just do this blind for you guys. You won't know the winners. I don't know the winners either, so I'm just going to be there for gags. But we're going to get suited and booted, do a proper Brownlow vote. So it's going to be like the Crichton Medal, but good.
Yeah, that's the caveat. It's going to be good.
It's the Crichton Medal, but you don't have to pay $200. You can drink your own beer, eat your own food, and we're going to go round by round. And there's going to be some special segments. There's some special awards. Some genius, just so you know, some genius came up with some trophy names as well. Don't know who that was. I've heard he's quite good looking though, and he's not, and he's English, and it's not Hugh Grant. So could be Colin Firth. I don't know. I'm very excited to find out what that is.
This is a good question.
I can't confirm nor deny.
Hilarious. All right, let's get to the forwards. And unfortunately, Don, if you're still here, Don Caldwell, you call me biased with Lawal, but I'm going to shove that back in your face and I'm going to say 0 Twix for Peter Wright. But congratulations, big ginger man. You got that beautiful mark in the opening quarter. You kicked a beautiful goal for your 150th game. But outside of that, I will say, when you people complain that he doesn't do anything else or he hasn't had a lot, I'm going to point out to you that Liam McMahon excels because Peter's taking 3 St Kilda opponents. Langford excelled down there because Peter Wright had 3 St Kilda opponents hanging off him when a ball was coming in high and tall. So I just want to say that. But he still gets 0 chockies, okay?
Did that hurt you to say?
It did, and I think I just need to just throw up a little bit for a second. Just don't mind me.
Who will you start next to in this game?
Hey? They got confirmation that the person next to me did have a bruised a bruised arm, but it could have been worse because outside of his goal, he didn't do much after that. So it could have been much more bruised.
I was going to say, like, when that goal went through, I did spare a thought for the poor human that was sat next to you.
The slaps were excited. Let's just put it that way.
I agree with you. I think the issue I've got with Peter Wright is I think we've gone. Peter Wright is a throwback to 10 years ago. We used to get really excited about giants, and then what happened is people started, I don't know, presumably having sex under a uranium factory, because then we get freaks of nature like Darcy coming around, Dilthorpe, guys who move like 175 midfielders 10 years ago, but they're 208 centimeters tall. Like, I don't even think Darcy's human, to be honest.
I'm still questioning that, and God help us if the next one's like this. I don't know. You're into the younger players. Is the always not?
Unfortunately, there's another one, and this guy plays down the back as well.
Oh my good God!
He's not as good by the eye as his brother was at the level, but he moves, takes marks like his brother.
It's almost not fair. It's really almost not fair.
Yeah, can you honestly, you know what? 5 years, during COVID, I used to go down the rabbit hole and see these conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite conspiracy theories, I'm a conspiracy theory man. I don't believe them, but I get turned on reading them. Was that we're run by lizard people. When I look at Darcy, I think, you know what? Maybe. Let's rule it out. But I agree with what you said about that. Peter Wright, he takes a body, and in an ideal world, the beneficiaries are McMahon, Langford, and Caddy. So it's fascinating, but I'm going to stick up for the big ginger.
Okay.
Like, only a couple of years ago, this guy was kicking goals out of his ass for banter, wasn't he?
Absolutely. In a shocking team. in a shocking, very poor team. 50-plus goals, sixth in the Coleman medal.
Look
And
at that. She's got these tattoos.
did you just feel my energy shift slightly?
No.
I just went up and about any excuse to talk up the big ginger man. But now a guy who's definitely not getting 0 votes, but getting many, many votes is Cole Langford. And let me tell you, Pom, this guy looked like someone who hasn't played footy for a lot of this year and missed the fuck out of it. He had a presence, and it just shows you don't have to be 200 metres tall like Darcy or a unicorn to have presence. His body language was exceptional. He was frothing to be out there. His leadership was exceptional. He played on the wing, and he bolted for a ball, and I was worried a bit for his hamstrings for a second, but he just looked energetic, and I could not have been more impressed with Langford's game.
You know what? I think you've nailed that summary pretty well. Yeah, I can't believe this guy's 192.
Yeah.
Because he genuinely, you know who he reminds me of? Imagine, you know, he's Audi Jack Gunston.
Audi Jack Gunston. This is nice by you. Good by you. I don't mind it. Is it a little bit disrespectful for Langers?
No,
is he that much?
Audi still sells quality things. It's just unbranded.
Yeah, okay. I just don't know if he's that much worse than a Jack. Yeah, no, actually, you're probably on point. Yep, but this guy too.
Fiona, if we blindfolded you and we gave you Audi Twix and real Twix, I guarantee you wouldn't know.
You know, I bet you I would. Only with Twix, nothing else. But I can't tell you how many Twix I've consumed.
So, Audi Twix. Do you know what I mean? An Audi Gunston, we'll call him. Okay. Audi Gunston. I really like him. I think his attack on the ball is really good. When watching this, I think I'm so glad whoever's idea it was to play him down the back, which I laughed at last week, didn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, I did think that once Laverde went down, I did think they'd send Langford back. So kudos to the coaches for not panicking too much and just did a bit of reshuffling in terms of the setups and the starting points of the backmen, and really got Blackiston kind of being the main man down there on Sharman when Laverde went down. So I thought Langford had a huge say in the game. So my only question is to you in chat, is it 4 or 5 Twix?
Moby's comment is tickling the war humour in me. Well done. Big Langers.
I mean, is that actually true? Does Germany have a Twix like a Twix equivalent that is mind-blowing?
Oh, come on. Think about the events leading up to the war.
Oh, I know, but I know exactly I understand this joke, but I'm actually considering whether there's a...
What is German for Twix? German for Twix. Ooh, evidently it's called Radar.
Radar? That's a terrifying... That's a terrifying name. That's a terrifying name. I'm not eating that.
It doesn't invoke the senses, does it? But back to Mr. Langford. Where are we, chat? I think it's better than a 2. Is it as good as a 4?
I mean, I'm. If you're thinking as low as a 2, I don't know about that.
No, I said it's better than a 2, but is it a 4? Like my gut says 3, but I'm happy to take 4. Like Afrin's comment, I agree. I think a genius key forward would be brilliant with Langford.
What's we saying? One of Essendon's biggest problems have not got a gem full forward like a Charlie. Like imagine him in Essendon lack a forward so much. Well, this is why we have Caddy, and he hasn't played the last handful of games, but he's building and yeah. I think he's our Charlie. That's my thought.
Yeah, we can't give 3.5 Bomber fanatic.
No halves, guys, just to confirm.
Because Fiona's scared of halves.
No, I just decided to be diplomatic and decided to have some
Same
power.
as me. I don't believe any human being should drink half a pint at all. It's a pint or just drink water.
In saying that, we also do give halves. But anyway.
You know what? I'll leave it in your capable hands. The chat looks split.
Well, you're not helping me. Oh, screw it. I'm taking this one. I had to talk down my big ginger man and not give him anything. So I'm claiming Langford. He's getting 4.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely. All right. This next guy did a great job on Cal Wilkie. However, I am not convinced he's obsessed with getting the ultimate success out of football, this guy. I know you love him, but I'm just not convinced that he's obsessed with winning a premiership and that he takes football all that seriously as his number one priority.
My only issue with the Guelph man is a little bit like I complain about Carlton small forwards. I don't feel like... I think he's a master of one thing. Nowadays, we've gone past the defensive forward.
Yep.
Defensive forwards kick goals. It's like the tagger. We see taggers now tag and kick goals. It's no longer the guy who has 2 touches and just blankets you, unless
right.
you're Ross the boss. So, yeah, I can't give him a vote here. Defensively, he was good, but as a small forward, that ball hits the ground and you don't really see anything from him.
Yeah, agreed. This next guy also gets 0 Twix from me because whilst he had some really great and led the inside 50 tackle count, you cannot be missing 3 opportunities. And I wouldn't say all that hard opportunities at goal when you're a small forward and you actually worked hard to get those opportunities. You put yourself in the right position. You did some incredible body work to get those opportunities. You cannot be missing those goals. What did you think? Oh, well, you didn't watch. Well, what did you think when he missed those easy shots at goal?
It felt like he had more shots than I had at my 21st, but same result though. We both blacked out. It's poor. You've got to be taking them opportunities. He's good enough to be putting them goals to bed, and they're real momentum killers, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Because watching the Bombers play, you work your ass off to get it from back half to the forward half.
Yep.
And some of them were unforgivable.
The one directly in front, maybe.
Yeah, and it's making sure. I always say sometimes, make sure, and I feel like he's under a bit of pressure. His old men's dog.
Yeah. All right, now moving on to someone who I am hoping is going to kick an absolute bag this Thursday night, to show you all what you're missing out on. I hope he does it for his own pride. I hope he does it for the Essendon Football Club. I hope he does it for the Sash. Liam McMahon had another great game. He had his hands stomped on late in the game, and it also is a case with Jayden Laverty if he plays and stays in, because when he went off, the forward structure did change somewhat. I thought he had another great game.
He is like absolutely locked in for 6 goals. So I said it during the draft.
Yeah, you did.
That when he plays Carlton, lock him in for 6 goals. He can do it.
Everyone, all your energy.
I really like what Liam's doing. He does what he says on the tin. Playing him out of the goal square, he'll take marks. You can get into him. It's really, really, really good. It's going to be interesting to see how he works with Nate Caddy when Nate Caddy comes back, because Nate Caddy plays from the goal square as well and leads up, which I think is the one area that I'd like to see Liam improve. But aerially, this guy is incredibly good. Very good. He is playing at full capacity at the minute. So that's really good to see. And it's great to see him out there. I do like Liam and what he's about. But you watch him play, it's good to see, because he'd never played for Carlton. Charlie and Harry, unfortunately, you can see Hudson O'Keefe, they wanted to put time in. I'm glad he's gone somewhere that appreciates him, and I hope he keeps it up. He's in a real good spot. He's a nice kid. Like I said, sat in front of him at the BNF, one of the nicer guys that you'll see out there. So easy too for me, because he keeps doing it, doesn't it? It's going to be good to see if he can do this next week I mean, next year. I hope he gets the opportunity, full season, pre-season. Let's see what happens.
My issue with him in the beginning was my worry, not issue, was that he was just a little bit too pure, a little bit too vanilla of a forward line in this modern game of chaos. But last week he's snapping goals, and this week he's taking a contested mark, and I didn't think he had that in them. We haven't really seen his aerial prowess, and I know he's got a beautiful aerial leap, but we haven't seen it. And so I'm slowly seeing little, extended elements of his toolkit, and I like it. And he's pure, and he's got a really consistent and honest routine, and I think I'm seeing a bit more colours to his rainbow. So I'm liking it.
Inverse Matthew Owies. He's inverse Matthew Owies. So there's no surprise to me that Matthew Owies went to West Coast. Carlton fans cried about it. West Coast fans now are wanting their list manager to be sacked for the diabolical, because I think Matt Owies is a player that can kick goals when there's a lot of opportunity in a decent functioning side when he did. Liam McMahon, my one reservation is when you guys get good, the ball moves faster, spread is more important. He's very good at VFL level when you're kicking it on him, and he's got one of the best set shots I've ever seen, and that's something that has always impressed me.
Well, look at the efficiency so far.
Dead-eye Dick.
Crazy.
Like, I'd love to...
5 games.
At VFL level, it's something that you want to see. It's something that I was like, how does he not teach some of these mental players with him to just drop the ball like a normal human being? It's going to be interesting, though, because this is Liam McMahon. So I'm very interested to see how he goes next year. Like, I hope he keeps it up. He kills it.
This next guy had a very poor game for mine. No Twix for me. But at this point, I'm just not surprised.
Yeah, Gresham makes me worry, honestly, every time I watch him, about Tyson Gresham, because I watch Tyson Gresham and I'm like, okay, there's something to work with here.
So for those of you who don't know, Tyson Gresham is obviously Jade's brother and NGA for Carlton. So
and I'm like, he looks good, but fuck, I hope he's not like his brother. See what we said about Redmond, and then the inverse. I think Redmond plays for the Guernsey.
Yep.
Where I feel like Gresham plays for himself. And that sounds incredibly harsh, but it feels like it's all about Gresham. I don't see the teamwork. And in a side like you, like where Essendon are, you want him to bring people in and around. And it scares me watching him, because it feels like he's all about himself. Even some of the areas he gets the ball, when he has a ping at the post, when he could switch it, cut it back inside. Real area of concern is the small forwards like Gresham and Guelphy. It just feels like one of them's just trying to knock people's heads off, and the other one's trying to get fantasy points.
The other doesn't care. Like, the other's more interested in his modelling career post football rather than being obsessed with winning a premiership, like Caldwell is, like, Roberts is, like Andy McGrath is. So, yeah, Jade Gresham, very disappointing.
Gresham reminds me of, there used to be a guy, right, Dave Miggins, I used to play soccer with, right, and honestly, biggest arsehole ever, played midfield. But every club has this player. So guys and girls who have played sport will have this human being in your brain. A guy that whatever they do, by the time you get to the clubhouse, every drink, that goal gets better. I'll never forget, semi-finals of the Evening News Trophy. He scored this goal from edge of the area, came off his shin pad, went in. And by the 4th beer, this guy had scored from a fucking goal kick. But when the goal went in, our entire team went, oh no. Because you just knew you were going to hear about that. I feel like Gresham at the end of the game says, oh, do you see that little handball I did 22 minutes in?
Is this even when he had -7 meters gained? Holy shit.
Yeah, it was a poor game.
Wow.
It was a poor game. But genuinely, like, this is what I mean. Like, in isolation, Jade Gresham was brought in for experience. For 27 years old, he's played a lot of games. He should be the leader of this forward line. But I think the
There
young
you go.
guys.
Afram
exposed-
wants him at Carlton. You want him? You want him? We'll take a pack of Twix. We'll take a Twix
No,
for
I
him.
think he means Gresham's brother.
Oh, right. Okay. Are you sure? I think he's being sarcastic. But this
Afram's
is
a
a
man
very
of intelligence and luxury. There is no way he'd want Jade Gresham at the football club.
okay.
I could
Well,
be
this is
wrong.
a great question, Pom.
Who is Carlton's Jade Gresham? What, a guy who fucking loves himself. You know, how long have you got? I've got a list. Who does stupid shit and thinks they're good?
Who's just there for the glory?
Paul. You know what? Way he's played this year, definitely.
Who?
Charlie would be up there because he has definitely played like the world owes himself. Blake Acres. Don't know if Blake Acres is arrogant. I just think Blake Acres is stupid. I think there's a difference between arrogance and stupidity.
I love how you tried to dilute that criticism, but instead you just gave it. You came back with an even meaner one.
Honestly, genuinely, I love Blake Acres, but honestly, you'd give that guy the square and he'd be trying to wedge it in the circle hole of one of them block games. I mean, no, Orazio, actually, I know you guys hate him. He's actually been lovely at Carlton, like, by all reports. I'd probably agree with Paul. I actually think Charlie Curnow this year, genuinely Charlie Curnow, everything he's done, and I love Charlie. Like, I've told his family I love him more than his dad. Like, genuinely love Charlie Curnow more than his dad. But the attitude this year from young Charles has genuinely been, I'm him.
Yeah.
It's disappointing. Yeah. If it's not Charlie, Durden has his moments of genuinely thinking he's world class, and someone needs to tell him you're not world class. But this year, Charlie, honestly, like, yeah, genuinely worries me.
This is very funny by The Solution. We need Dave Miggins to have the right of reply. Any chance he wants to jump on the line?
I'll try and get him on.
Okay.
Honestly,
there's some interesting names coming up with this. Akers, Maddie and Danny both think Akers. Scotty possibly says Elijah Hollands with his off-field. Lots of interesting.
Rumored and
alleged
today saying don't believe social media. So,
oh right, okay. I mean, I think we can believe it a little bit, but yes, exactly. Okay, alrighty, all right. So, how did you see our young debutante? I must say, there's a couple of highlights, Pom, floating around, and unless you were sitting on the wing there at the game where Reece Unwin was in the pack in the middle of 3 St Kilda players and did this evasion move, you cannot appreciate it because the TV did not pick it up how brilliant it was. And then he bounced the ball and he shot off, and then he kicked the if I may quote a friend of mine, he said he kicked the ball like a carrot because he mung the kick, but I tell you what, the evasion was a thing of beauty, and he did it twice in the game. And this is the moment, yes. Reece Unwin parted the seas with his pace, yep. And then he kicked that lovely goal. Agree. Yeah, I don't want to get too up and about all of these kids, but I don't know. I still think his frame, I cannot see he's so light a frame. I can't see him having a presence, but is that harsh?
You know what? When I look at Gresh, when I look at Guelphy, the one thing that pisses me off is that they're just one-trick ponies. Like,
yes,
Guelphy looks like he's amazing to have as a wingman at Rebs on a Saturday afternoon. And Jade Gresham looks like he's brilliant to have at Rebs because he'll bore the crap out of the girl by talking about himself. So It makes you look better. What I like about Reece is he does it all, doesn't he? And I've loved his VFL. So I've been scouting some Essendon players for my draft content. But I watched the Sydney game recently. And the fact he can tackle, he's not scared, of tackling, but he also kicks goals. What I mean by that, you can do everything. You can do everything. A modern day player can do it. So what I like about Reece is he's a few years away, I think, because he's built, honestly, he's built like your second cousin, isn't he? But promise, half a vote, because he has got pace. I thought he took his goal well. And he generally looks like the kind of guy that you really hope if you had a sister, your sister would date.
I don't know. Don't underestimate the old rangers with the carrot tops. They can be a bit shifty. But
that was a compliment. I said he could date a family member.
It was wonderful in that moment where he did part the seas and then took a bounce among the kick, which I noted that Aaron, you said it was right in front of you. The whole crowd went, the gasp. It was a beautiful moment. It was a moment of beauty, of magic, and I thought, not many players do that, let alone in their first game. So, I liked it. But I don't want to think too. I don't want to put too much pressure on them, because he is very, very slight. But all right, we're finishing with a guy who has had a tough old year in terms of his output, but I thought we saw a little bit of an improvement. Was it enough to get him a Twix or half a Twix?
He. Oh God!
Keeping in mind, he plays 100 games next week.
He's so annoying, is Archie.
It really kills me.
Like genuinely, he makes you want to headbutt walls, doesn't he? I looked at his game this week and I really wanted to pay close attention because he's playing such an important role for you guys. He's playing that like high half forward role, that conduit role, which in today's game is the shortcut for us all getting your shirt and getting a tattoo. But yeah, it's just meh, isn't it? And then he does the unthinkable, but outside of like them moments, what does he bring for 4 quarters? And I feel like he's a player that he's too good to be a bit part player.
Yeah. For mine, personally, it just doesn't do enough of it. And I keep giving the excuse, he's playing that tricky high half forward role. But when do I get to use that excuse? And I talked about him a lot, and you'll hear about it in the forecast I did with the solution, which drops tomorrow night. I did talk about him, about the psychology of what's going on with him and what I want to see him from the off season. But I just want to stop using that excuse with him. I did really like his first half though. And one thing you can say about him is that he will find the goals in a sandstorm. He will find the goals in a tsunami. He knows where the goal is. And I don't think I've ever seen him miss a snap.
Look, there's no doubt about it. He took his moments. I just I'm with you. It's a lot of games.
Yeah.
Like he's, if this was Reece, we'd probably be getting excited, but
true.
If it's not now, when is it? Is my question. And I agree, it's a difficult role.
Yeah.
But at this stage, he should be at least close to the centerpiece. He's 24 this year?
Yeah. Well, when you're hitting 100 games next week, I think there's not a huge amount to kind of not show for it, but yeah, it's look. I think his game was okay. I think it's about a half Twix for mine, but I'd be happy if you wanted to leave him at 0.
You know what? I'm willing to give him a vote because look, you've got to put yourself in the position to take the moment.
Yeah,
but I think the way the game planned out, particularly we attacked the right quite a bit.
Yeah,
I would expect this guy to be a superstar in this game, and I didn't see it.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Well, Pom, that concludes all of the players from... Oh, what have I done here? I'm sorry, guys. From the game on the weekend. And, Stephen, I mean, potentially I'm not ready to give up on him, talking about Archie in terms of trade bait. I still need to see... not ready to give up, but Corey, you're right. He need to be seeing more from him, and we're not.
Don't put a trade, because fucking hell, Carlton would see guy who's a midfielder, high ceiling.
Oh yeah, you'd be all over him.
Forward, we'd be like, oh fuck.
You'd be all over him, and I think would I be confident that he'd turn a corner at your club? Not particularly, but
you've got to look at how Carlton develop.
Yeah, I know. Afrim, yes, Liam McMahon, pardon me, is okay to play on Thursday night. He trained fully. He does have to wear a glove, as will Zach Merritt. So we will have 2 gloved Bomber players out there Thursday night. So I don't know. Can that be an impediment for a forward who has gone his whole career without having anything on his hands? Is that going to annoy
I don't know.
him?
Every time I've seen a professional footballer play with a glove, they always fucking turn into prime versions of themselves, don't they?
Okay. All right. That makes me...
it seems to work, doesn't it? Like, they just seem to become superhuman.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to see a superhuman version of McMahon. But before we finish up, we do face your mob Thursday night, Pom. Let's have a slight forecast to how do you think the game's going to play out. I do know that you're pretty confident your guys will get up. And to be quite honest with you, they should, just like St Kilda should have gotten up. We had no right to be very close on that scoreboard on Friday night, and we probably have no right against Carlton given our depleted list. But what we do have is spirit and heart, and I still think that's something that's potentially lacking at Carlton is that mental fortitude. So, I loved seeing that more confident style of play from Carlton against Port, but it was a beaten up Port. It was a depleted Port at Marvel Stadium in good conditions. When things are a bit to the left side of perfect, is Carlton going to be able to hold up?
Well, I mean, these games, genuinely, Carlton hate playing the final game of the season. I think, when was the last? I'm pretty sure we haven't won one, since 2016? It feels like a long time. Yeah, we're not very good at finishing off our work, unfortunately. And Essendon, for some reason, are just a team that seem to take the piss. 2013, cheers, Paul. I know it was
crazy, Paul. Paul, that's crazy. That is crazy.
It's not crazy. Trust me, when you've supported
even
Carlton,
in 2023 when you were flying.
No.
Wow. Okay. There you go.
That was one of the 2 games we lost in the back half, just to keep it real.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah. How do I expect it to go? A lot. I'll be totally honest. I'm not going to lie.
No lying.
I am very, very confident, and that I say that with all due respect. Carlton should be going in this. They've got far too much experience, far too much strength in that midfield, and they should be able to push that back line pretty well. What St Kilda can do, we should be able to do better. But
examples. So where did St Kilda not quite get it right that Carlton should?
Well,
particularly just that midfield dominance.
St Kilda do piss about with it quite a lot, and I felt like round the midfield, they really look at avoiding you getting it out of there as much, where Carlton like to ram through it. So we'll be able to do that. I don't think, as much as I respect what Durham's done, don't think Durham will intimidate Hewitt and Cripps like he has done. Cripps likes them type of big bodies. So I think that's good. And I think also Sam Walsh adds a little bit of dynamism that St Kilda sorely lack as well. But having said that, this is a game where you haven't got anything to play for, neither of us, but vibes. And historically, you guys...
we're vibes and a dopamine hit and a win for most of our young'uns playing who have not had a win, who have not sung the song. There's probably going to be more in the middle of the song than there will be around the song. That dopamine hit to know it's been 11, 12 in a row losses. So just to know that they know that they're on the right track, but just to have a bit of that external validation would be so good for the soul. Add to that, it's Zach Merritt's 250th, our spiritual leader. Add to that it's our rivals in Carlton in the Blues, and I don't know. I just want it for him.
I will, if you want some hope. So when I did my preview, Carlton fans said I was mental. But the stats said it was a 91.8% chance of winning. So that's why I was quite bold and said,
wow,
there's no way we can lose to Port Adelaide. We are a genuine 6 to 7 goal side.
Yep.
Against your mob, though, with this weekend's data, Carlton are a 77.6% chance to win. So you are 20% better than them. So when it's, even though 70 sounds a lot, it means you've got to do what you do, and the opposition have just got to do what they always do, but do a little bit more. You never know. So we're still mentally fragile. So the way to beat Carlton, we still haven't seen if Carlton can adapt to it, is you take away our ability to spread it out of the contest, because we will fucking just keep it there. We don't know anything else other than that. So you've got to ask the question. The longer you ask the question, the more our mental fragility will play in. We've got to put you away early and silence you up. But hopefully it's a great game.
I reckon Richard could be on the money here, given our depleted defence. Mackay will be the difference. He'll be brimming with confidence. However, there is a chance that Ben Mackay gets up for this game. So they've been pushing him really hard at training. And my little spies at training today tell me that there was a bit of a vibe around him. So he hasn't played since round 13, so he has missed quite a bit of football, but he's trained fully for the last 3 weeks, or last 2.5. So potentially the bros could meet again. We might just decide it's too big of a risk, but there is a chance. Yeah, Paul, I agree. Nick Martin is a big loss, and somebody else did say, as you say, Joe Caldwell, Parrish, Caddy, the list keeps going. Zach Reed, Ridley, if we have all those guys, we stand a very good chance. But last time we played you, we put up a really good fight. So I'm hoping that they do that for themselves. And Danny, you think a 10-goal win? Yeah, that'll hurt, but that's okay. That's okay. We know where we are. You should be winning by 10 goals, Danny, and Carlton family. You should be winning.
Depends what. Depends how you're watching this game. How are you watching this game?
What do you mean how? I'm watching it with rose-coloured glasses, so it doesn't affect my mental health. That's how.
No, I meant how are you watching it? You take us through what will you be doing this day?
I see that you're putting out you got your fishing hook, and you're just putting it out to the line and hoping to catch a fish called Fiona.
I've already caught a big fish, mate. But you just seed and give me what I want.
Yeah. We'll see. We might leave that little announcement to later in the week. What do you reckon? In case you change your mind.
I'm not you.
I didn't change. When do I change my mind on you? Never.
Well, we've got a rattled ear, chat. We're winning.
You have got me. No, I'm not rattled. Absolutely not. But we're drawing into absolute lunacy here. So maybe we'll finish it up here. Chat, you've been great. I don't quite know what you're talking about, but continue talking amongst yourselves about stuff. Yes, Maddie's just poked the subject, but anyway, we'll see. Oh, here we go. The cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, would it be great? I mean, you're going to join a list. Look, we have broken some people on that watch along. We had Swoop's chaos, where we absolutely broke Swoop. We broke Swoop. We did. We managed to break him. So no, we're looking forward to.
Did Carlton win that game?
It was probably the best TV ever, because he spent a quarter. They were killing us in the first half, and he was getting stuck into me, thinking he was 10 men.
What? No.
And Carlton came back, and by the end, he was in tears. We absolutely. I told him, look, the more you give me shit, it'll come back, mate. When we come back, and we came back. So no, I'll be nice to you, Fiona. I promise.
I mean, I'm not going to be doing push-ups, guys. Maybe I'll scutter off to get a snack in the form of a Twix bar, but I won't be saying that I won't be pumping them up. But I'll be slapping you from afar if the ginger does anything cute. Okay?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Oh no, this could be the first and last time that this ever happens potentially. But we'll see. We're trying shit, right?
You fucking Jesus! You make it sound like it's dangerous.
But that's because, do you know why? Because you've collected you've done it for so long that you've set a high standard, and you've collected a community that absolutely adores what you do and love what you do, including me. And I'm just going to come in and I'm going to be a thorn in the rose bush, I feel.
No, more like a bee, I reckon.
A bee? Don't know if that's good.
Well, bees pollinate them, don't they? Like without the bee, the rose would never be there.
True, very true.
Yeah.
We need your Bombers to really challenge Gold Coast to help us Pies hold top 4. I mean, because you're here, and I hope you've liked and subscribed to the channel, Voodoo Generation, I will get my team and that I follow that absolutely don't listen to me and have no idea who I am across the line for you, and we will do our best next week against the insignificant game on a Wednesday night against the Gold Coast. Is there any chance that Gold Coast can miss finals now, or are they pretty much a lock?
No, there's a video on Pom's channel at the minute that teaches you all the scenarios that are possible from this. But no, Gold. Okay. Tell you what, let me make sure I'm not lying to you, because
this makes me understand that maybe it's percentage wise. Could it be?
Gold Coast at this stage can finish 3rd or 9th, dependent on if they lose both. But the 9th is like less than a 1.1% chance, because it requires like some Shakespearean type things.
Okay.
To happen.
Yeah.
Like some Shakespearean final.
Okay. Round. So what Voodoo Generation is asking is basically just to keep their percentage. We want to keep their percentage intact. So
if you can beat them, that would be, I'm sure that would be gross.
For the Pies. But if we can keep
the worst case scenario is drop both matches, and it would be like a historical choke. But what they're hoping for is win both games very healthily.
And take top 4.
He's a Collingwood fan, though, isn't he?
I believe so. Help us Pies, he says. So, yes, that's what I'm understanding.
So for him, he's hoping beat the Demons, Hawthorn beat Brisbane, but they can't beat them by too much to improve their percentage. Then Collingwood sneak into top 3, because the Hawks are just 0.4 percentage behind them, so they have to.
All right, Pommy and chat. Who misses out from here? It's got to be Freo or GWS and GWS, right? Can Freo and GWS?
It's Dogs. Dogs Fremantle is basically whoever wins that goes home.
How good is that game going to be? I mean, if you're not glued to the TV and Pommy in Oz for the watch along on that game, I mean, do you even football? Because that's going to be fun.
For the Dogs, it's nightmare, because there's no scenario they can make the 8 without the Dogs winning. But Fremantle could lose this game, but Gold Coast would have to drop both games,
which is not going to happen.
GWS get destroyed.
Jeez, what are the Dogs doing? What are the Dogs doing, putting themselves in this position every fucking year?
It's a great game. It's a great game.
That's what I just said, Shaky. Exactly.
You know what? It's crazy. No one's talking about this, but there is a mathematical event that could see the Dogs finish 4th.
And now you've got to talk me through how.
Okay, so they beat Fremantle. Collingwood lose.
Who's Collingwood?
Lose both games, and Brisbane beat Hawthorn, and then the Dogs could be 4th.
Okay, just tell me, who does Pies have? Who do Pies have to lose to?
So the Magpies have Melbourne. So if Melbourne beat them, then Gold Coast have to lose both of their games, but there is a world. It's a crazy finals position because the only teams that are locked and loaded with where pretty much is Adelaide and Geelong, because the worst Geelong can finish is third.
Geez, they're in a good position. They've set themselves.
So Geelong and Adelaide are home and hose. The rest, like even Brisbane, there is a world. Brisbane currently are third, but they could lose to Hawks, GWS, Fremantle, Gold Coast win, and Brisbane could go from third to eighth.
Third to eighth. Shit! So much of this relying on Gold Coast losing both games or one game?
Well, there is a big argument right now that the AFL have messed up that Gold Coast have got that extra game because in reality, Gold Coast should be going into this and not knowing what
100%.
Yeah, I mean, Don, obviously it's a mathematical chance, but there is a mathematical chance that Elvis will play the grand final. So there's always a chance because maths never states anything is pretty much impossible. But there is like genuine, like Gold Coast is crazy because they've got so many games in hand. They could finish third or ninth.
Crazy. So third or ninth, yeah.
It's sad that they've got this because genuinely that first game they have could mean that they couldn't give a shit in their last game.
Yeah. They could rest, no?
Which is sad because by the time they play that game against you guys, they potentially know mathematically the highest they can finish and the lowest. So
that's why, I mean, this league is just a joke on so many fucking levels, but just add it to the list. It was just such a brain dead decision to not play it when the teams, I mean, in my opinion, we should have just played it, but in Melbourne and then given this, they had the Gold Coast game, our opening round game I'm talking about.
It's genuinely sad because usually the AFL, how they structure the fourth round is even though historically we kind of know, genuinely you look at how they've done it, they try and guess what teams will need what to make the finals to make it interesting. But the problem is that Essendon game is pretty much a dead rubber. It would have been nice if this game was the Thursday game because I genuinely think the most interesting would have been Gold Coast going off first because they're the middle team.
This is a very good point from Aaron. Where are you, Az? Gold Coast 2 games in 5 days could ruin their first final. I don't mind that. That's a really good point. They might even rest some key players or some sore players for that Essendon game if all the other results really mean that they are locked into top 4 because they would be worried about this. It's
genuinely entertaining because you might, after the first 5 games, you'll know. So it could be Gold Coast could just like genuinely play a reserve team against you guys, knowing that not much really will happen. Because even if GWS and Co win, their percentage is still quite healthy, providing how they win. But they have still got what I think it's an 11-day break before they'll be scheduled to play a final.
True, with the break. We've got some breaking news here, and I know Pom is a very big lover of the Crows, but look-see here. Rankin is pretty much going to be out for the year. He's going to miss finals and potentially a grand final for a homophobic slur against Isaac Quainer in their game on the weekend. Wow.
Genuinely not a surprise, though, is it? Really?
No, and I guess we throw a lot of shit at the AFL's door, but let's be honest, consistency in this area, everyone knew no player has escaped a sanction when they've made a homophobic slur in this space. And Isaac Rankin, the kicker, he didn't self-report. He was not dobbed on, but it was reported by multiple people on the field who heard him and potentially an umpire's mic. And so given he didn't self-report, he doesn't get the Jack Graham downgrading of a week. So he gets 4 or above, depending on how bad the slur was. So he really shot himself in the foot in that regard too, because if they do make a grand final and he gets 3 weeks, well, he's back for the grand final. So he's really let his teammates down and the club.
It's genuinely fascinating because, 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 4 weeks since 2025, and then we've had the 6 weeks and the 5 weeks for Lance Collard and Rack Andrew. So,
yep.
Not,
so can
not
they challenge this, Bob? I didn't realise they could challenge it. I didn't realise that Adelaide can challenge when the AFL sanctions. Like, I thought you can only challenge tribunal decisions. That's, Is that 100%, Richard, that they can do that?
Has it actually been sanctioned? Let me just check it.
Oh, I don't know. This is just what the media are reporting, apparently.
Because I know the big talk is it's going to be 4 to 5 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, 6 would be huge. I mean, is that going? It depends how bad it is. Look, we don't know the actual specifics of the slur, but yeah, I'm of this opinion too. Why are you even? Why is your brain going there? Like, do better, be kinder, but B, like, he's got no one to blame but himself. He knows that the AFL are on this, and
I'm always harsh on this because I always believe you've got to open a door for redemption. But my feeling on this is when everyone said that they've had harsh sanctions, with all due respect, it was Lance Collard and Rack Andrew, who at the time were both bona fide VFL players. Jack Graham copped 4 weeks
down to
this
3
year. But if someone misses a final, someone misses a grand final for it, it's probably the biggest eye opener. Would it not be in the world for footballers?
Yes. Yes.
I have seen that Lee Matthews, that Afrim said, I've seen that on my newsfeed at the moment, saying,
what is that?
No player should miss it and it should just be a big fine, 2 weeks. But that's one of them things where I always say, if you are trying to stop it, you can't just go, oh, okay, this is really bad. If this was a VFL game, it'd be 6 weeks, but we don't want you to miss the biggest day of your life.
That's right. You always talk, you're big on consequences to actions, aren't you? You talk to me a lot about that, and I think you're absolutely spot on. Why the players keep doing drugs? Because they can get 65 flashes next to their name before they actually get their names get dropped or they get a ban. They can get marks against their name. That's why they keep doing drugs.
I am a firm, very harsh, controversial. I'm a firm believer that your first offence should carry the max offence. Growing up on a council estate, I'm sure this is the same in Australia. That you're always taught, do this crime by the older kids, you'll get let off because you're a kid, and genuinely it happens. The police go, naughty, naughty, don't do that again. Change the narrative, start punishing them. Same with drugs. The drugs in the world, as well, as someone that suffered horrifically from drug abuse as a kid, nothing worse than the fact that we're very lackadaisical and we try and make the punishment harsh when we do something illegal with the drugs. Punish the drug and then rehabilitate, and the redemption is from the punishment, not protected from the punishment. So hopefully Rankin gets it right, because I think he's in a beautiful position, being a young Indigenous male, to be a huge example, not just for his community, but also Australia. So I really do hope, even though he's done something abhorrent in today's culture, remember, he is a young man, very foolish, heat at the moment. I don't like this whole thing where people try and say he should be banned for life. He said something wrong that should be punished and should face fire. But it's very important that he is welcomed back into society once ever he is redeemed from the punishment. And then we put our arms around him and he proves to us then that he's learned his lesson. And through that, hopefully, many men and girls and young men learn a lesson through their idol Isaac Rankin, that, yes, he's made a bad mistake. He's borne the punishment. Now he's part of our society again. Yep.
I could not agree more, and I agree, Ken. Spot on. Absolutely spot on. All right, Voodoo Generation, it's his first final series too. Yep. It's a mistake, and if they get through to a grand final, it will be a big, big, big consequence that he has to learn and come back better. Well, Pom, we might leave it there for the night. It's been wonderful as per usual. The
My
penultimate
pleasure.
the penultimate Twix Awards, before the Twix Low. Thank you very, very much, chat. You have been wonderful. Pom and I enjoy this thoroughly, spending this couple of hours, an hour with you. If you haven't, please hit that subscribe and like button on the way out, and also over at Pommy and Oz on his channel. And yes, Pommy and I will be coming to you Thursday night, I think, at this stage for the watch along. Yes, Thursday night team selection show will be Wednesday night this week, and then Tuesday night next week, which is just going to stuff up the routine. But that's okay because football is ending soon. Alrighty, we'll leave it there, Pom. Thank you very much. See you next week. Good night, everyone.
Night.